Once past the gates of Frogner Park to the Vigeland installation, you are greeted with a map to see all of the sculptures. Gustav Vigeland, born April 11, 1869, was born Adolf Gustav Thorsen. He was a Norwegian sculptor, and he occupies a special place among Norwegian sculptors, both in his power of creative imagination and his productivity. He is most associated with the Vigeland installation in Frogner Park in Oslo, but also the designer of the Nobel Peace Prize. Adolf Gustav was born to a family of craftsmen. His father was a cabinet maker. He had 3 brothers, one who became a noted artist. Adolf was sent to Oslo, where he learned wood carving. The sudden death of his father compelled him to move back to his mother and brothers. He returned to Oslo in 1888, determined to be a sculptor. The following year, he exhibited his first work, Hagar and Ishmael. In his 20s, he adopted his new family name, Vigeland, from the area he briefly lived. From 1891 to 1896, he spent time on voyages, including Copenhagen, Paris, Berlin, and Florence. He frequented Auguste Rodin's workshop in France, and while in Italy, experimented with the Renaissance artwork. In these years of his voyage, the theme that would later dominate his inspiration, death and relationship between man and woman, first appeared. His first personal exhibition in Norway in 1894 and 1896 received notable praise. Until 1902, Vigeland was engaged in the restoration of the Nidaros Cathedral in Trondheim. The contact with medieval art contributed to a frequent theme in his art, the dragon. It was a source of sin, but also as a nature source fighting against man. In 1905, Norway became independent from Sweden. He was considered the most talented Norwegian sculptor and received numerous commissions for statues and busts celebrating compatriots like Heinrich Ibsen and Niels Heinrich Abel. In 1906, he proposed a chalk drawing of a monumental fountain to be put in Idebulspace, the square in front of the Parliament of Norway. The location caused quite a dispute, postponing the work. He enlarged the original project, adding several sculpture groups. The high granite column was added to the design in 1919. Vigeland is most widely known for the Vigeland installation, a permanent sculpture installation in Frogner Park in Oslo. In 1921, the city of Oslo decided to demolish the house where he lived and build a library. After a very long dispute, Vigeland was granted a new building where he could work and live, and in exchange, he promised to donate to the city all of his works, including sculptures, drawings, engravings, and models. He moved to his new studio in Nobel's Gate in the borough of Frogner Park during 1924. One of his most famous sculptures, the Angry Boy, has been vandalized several times as people have decided they wanted it for themselves. It has been replaced many times, and hopefully this time is there for good and will not be taken again. His studio was located in the vicinity of Frogner Park, which he had chosen as the location for his fountain. Over the next 20 years, Vigeland was devoted to the project of an open exhibition of his works, which turned into what is known as Vigeland's sculpture arrangement, Vigelandsanlegget, in Frogner Park. It features 212 bronze and granite sculptures. It culminates in the famous Monolith with its 121 figures struggling to reach the top of the sculpture. Vigeland lived and worked at his studio in Nobel's Gate until his death in 1943. His ashes are still preserved in the belfry of the building. In accordance with the agreement with the city of Oslo, the building became the Vigeland Museum. The site is located south of the sculpture arrangement. His flat on the third floor was preserved as part of the museum, which houses various works of art by the artist.